Oh, is the music playing?
The music is playing. Oh, I love that all of our just talking over it is just going to be in it now. This is just part of the podcast moving forward. I hope the people want it. I hope they want to hear us.
I can't even hear the fucking music.
Shooting the shit.
I can't hear it.
We're back!
Oh, it's over now. Okay.
Season 3, Episode 2. This is the World Baseball Classic preview. Isaac, I am extremely excited for the WBC. I am extremely excited for this podcast, this recording. I've been being a nerd and getting things prepped for us, and I have loved it. Are you as excited as me?
I'm a person, I feel like I don't get excited for it until it starts happening. So I'm in spring training mode right now. I'm just warming up to the season, getting myself back into baseball. So I haven't had time to get amped for the shit.
Well, maybe this
and
will
especially
help you.
knowing Canada doesn't have a chance.
Yeah. Well, for those of you watching
I'm excited
on YouTube,
to see Dominican.
For those of you watching on YouTube, I also probably agree that Canada doesn't really have a chance, but I am representing them today. I've got the Canada. It's a hockey jersey, but it's a Canada jersey nonetheless. The flag right there.
Can you even buy a WBC Canadian jersey?
I have no idea. I'm sure somewhere you could.
That would be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool, actually. I'd be in on that. But they don't have the coolest jerseys in there. We didn't have that on the itinerary of talking about who's got the best unis. Maybe we have to see them on the field first, but that's a conversation. They dropped the hats, and I'm rocking...
I'm sure it won't be Canada.
I'm rocking with the Isreal hats, with the big Star of David right on the front. It looks cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's that Jewish swag.
I believe it. Yeah, I'm more along the lines of Palestine.
Okay. We're off to a flying start here. No, but seriously, I guess what is your overall excitement level for the event? Are you more excited?
I'm definitely gonna be excited.
Yeah, you're gonna be watching some games and stuff.
Oh yeah, I'll probably tune in to every game that's televised.
Okay, we'll go through the schedule a little bit later, just so that people have an idea of when it starts and teams of interest and stuff like that. So, but I mean, let's just talk about what the World Baseball Classic is. It's basically a global exhibition of... It's a tournament. It's a baseball tournament, and you represent your country. And the interesting thing about it is the kind of, loose connections to countries that you can actually have. There's a lot of you don't actually have to be born there. You can kind of trace lineage and heritage and stuff like that, and that kind of allows you to represent a specific country. So, for example, Jock Peterson was obviously not born in Israel. There's only one guy on the Israeli roster, I think, that's actually from Israel. Everyone else is just Jewish. And that's how they get to play for Team Israel. So it's kind of cool.
I love that though. I love that aspect where it can grow the game into these countries where the game isn't necessarily that big. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of what excites me the most, that there's 20 countries I believe in this. And how many countries is baseball frequently played in and super popular in? So it's good to see that representation for sure.
I think it's a great way to grow the game globally as well. This year we see for the first time Czech Republic is in the World Baseball Classic. I think our expectations for them are probably quite minimal, but it's still a really interesting story. It's actually a group of guys that play in kind of a local league that they have in Czech Republic that came together and formed this team and were able to try out and go through they ended up being the representative team for the Czech Republic, and now they have actually made it. They've qualified to participate in the World Baseball Classic. So that in itself is an incredible story, and a team that I'll certainly be having very low expectations for, but rooting super hard for them. If they could just win a single game in this tournament, I think that would be
not gonna happen.
Really exciting.
It took Canada how many years to score a single goal in the World Cup? Czech Republic, I'm just rooting for a run. Put something on the board. Let's go. I can confirm I did not see a single baseball diamond while I was in Czech Republic. I didn't know that existed. I didn't know they had a single one. Who knows? They might
Maybe
just play in a random
facility.
field. Yeah. I don't know, but I never saw one.
I think it was...
I wasn't actively looking.
I legitimately think that... and don't quote me on this, but from things that I've heard online and stuff, I swear that someone said that it's literally just like there's just two teams that just play against each other all the time. And this is like...
I wouldn't doubt it.
It's like those guys. So, it's pretty cool.
I think it's super cool. I don't know, like, how do you even get interested in baseball there?
It's a
like,
sign
what do they
that
watch?
Baseball has reached the Czech Republic. It'd be like us getting super invested in like cricket or something, you know?
I guess cricket is occasionally played on TV here, very occasionally. I did when I was in New Zealand. Cricket was everywhere.
Yeah.
It was played literally everywhere. There's pitches everywhere. And I took a little bit of time trying to learn that game, and I must say I was very interested in it while I was there. But the moment I came back, all the interest disappeared. So kudos to the people in Czech Republic staying engaged in the game, because it has to be very hard when none of your friends are interested in it, or none of the people you spend time with, and it's hard to find on TV. It's very impressive that they're engaged.
I feel like that kind of speaks to like what a close knit group they must be. I would assume that they form like quite the bond, being kind of such a niche little group in their community. So yeah, shout out Czech Republic. I hope that they do some good things in this tournament. I'll also point out that if you have MLB TV, there's actually a documentary on MLB TV that you can watch that's all about the Czech Republic baseball story. I watched like 5 minutes of it and then got busy and stopped watching it, but I would like to, hopefully as part of my World Baseball hype, actually kind of work my way through that video over the course of the week here. So if you have MLB TV, definitely check that out if that's something that interests you. If not, I'm not going to force you,
No, we should.
It's your life.
Should force
you can live it how you want.
It's mandatory. It's homework for the viewers. You must watch a documentary that I haven't watched either. But
all right, well, let's Isaac. I think it's time. We should probably dive into the teams. I guess that's kind of the general point of interest, right? Was what teams are actually a part of this thing. So essentially, there is 4 pools. It's Pool A, B, C, and D. And where should we start, Isaac? We're going to start running through the rosters here, I think, and kind of pointing out people of general interest.
Alphabetical order. Pool
that
A.
would probably make sense, I guess. Okay, let's go Pool A. I think Pool A was the one that I said is the only. So basically, MLB posted like previews of like all the rosters, or not MLB, sorry, WBC, their baseball account posted like preview posts of all of the rosters, and for some reason Pool A has disappeared. I don't know if they archived it because maybe too many people have changed on the roster or what happened. So we'll start with that. And
should we share the screen?
Yeah, I guess I can share my screen because this is a
see what happens.
Partially YouTubed broadcast as well. Let's go WBC rosters here and share the screen. And there we go. So obviously if you're just listening on audio, you're not going to be able to see my screen. But we will do our best to walk you through it. So
just use your imagination.
Yeah. Pool A consists of Chinese Taipei, the Netherlands, Cuba, Italy, and Panama. So let's start with Chinese Taipei. We'll go in here, Chinese Taipei. And let me know when you see someone that you know, Isaac, because I'm going to be honest, I don't think I'm going to recognize anyone. I don't think Chinese Taipei... Oh, Yu Chang is an infielder for the Boston Red Sox. Okay. Sue Lin also was a former Red Sox, I believe. And he is now with the Minnesota Twins, I think. Judging by his picture. And that's about it. I don't recognize
and
anyone else.
All of these players are native Taiwan guys.
You doing some Googles?
CC Lee, did you mention CC Lee?
TC Lee? What does he play?
CC Lee.
CC Lee.
CC Lee.
He's got a Dodgers cap on.
A lot of these guys have the pictures in their hat. So I think they've all been part of organizations.
Yeah,
at some point. There's a few.
There's a few for sure that have MLB association on their cap. But I'm sure, Isaac, if we don't... I mean, I don't want to sound arrogant here, but if there's a player that I haven't heard of, I think a lot of our listeners that are especially casuals will also probably have no idea who they are. Oh, wait. Yeah. Oh, Chin-Ming Wong. I remember him. But he's actually just a bullpen coach. He's not actually on the squad, so...
He's probably like 50 now.
Yeah. All right, well, that does it for the Chinese Taipei preview. Who's next, Isaac?
What are our expectations there? I feel like this is one of the rosters we don't know.
Are very low for Chinese Taipei. And, one of the things we should mention is that, it's kind of arrogant for us to just assume that because they're not in the MLB and don't have, a lot of MLB talent, that they might not be that good. I think we'll kind of see that be the case for Japan and for Korea, that they're going to, even though there's not a ton of recognizable names for us here in North America, they've got some real good ball players. And
well, think of where Shohei came from. He's the face of our game right now.
Yeah, exactly. Where's Netherlands? Am I scrolling over it?
It's Kingdom of Netherlands. You scrolled over it 3 times.
Kingdom of Netherlands. Wow, that's fancy as shit. Okay. We are on to the Kingdom of Netherlands preview for the rosters now. And it's... Oh, also a thing of note here, Isaac, maybe you can Google what countries these actually are, for sure. But you'll see a lot of people like Kenley Jansen, Jared Jurgens. Those are MLB names, obviously. Pedro Strop. This is on the pitching side of things. Those are a few recognizable names right there, I would say. It actually does say here, birth country.
It does say where they're birth.
That's cool. So, Kenley Jansen, Jair Jurgens, and Pedro Strop too. Oh, Pedro Strop was actually Dominican Republic. But Curacao, I think Aruba, and there's another country as well. Oh, St. Martin is there. They're basically Dutch colonies. Is that what it is?
I believe Curacao and Aruba can confirm, I think.
So,
not sure.
Because of the Dutch colonization of it, the players for that, even though they were born in these island countries that are obviously not the Netherlands, they're able to represent the Netherlands. So that's kind of what we were saying about the loose lineage that exists and allows people to represent countries that they weren't necessarily born in. So yeah, that's kind of...
We do have 2 DR-born players that you may be familiar with. Pedro Strop, and there's one other. Who else was from DR? I thought there's 2.
So basically on the pitching side of things, though, you have 3 quite recognizable names in Kenley Jansen, Pedro Strop, and Jair Jurgens. That's about all that I recognize personally. I can't really give any more feedback on guys that I don't know anything about. On the infield, there is some very recognizable big league baseball players and serious talent, really. Starting with the guy who's kind of been the face of the Netherlands baseball for a while, I would say, and that's Xander Bogaerts, actually born in Aruba. And
I would make this massive argument that Didi Gregorius has been the face of Netherlands baseball for years. He is the most well-known native Netherlands Dutch-born player.
I think you won that argument.
So,
you sold me.
And he's been playing in the WBC maybe longer than Xander.
Yeah.
Xander's the best player on this team. I think we can agree.
Yeah.
But Didi is still... Let him rock.
Yeah. And in terms of like WBC talent and competing on like a world exhibition, like Didi Gregorius is a very good player to have on your team. There's no underselling that.
Like, it's the same. Okay, Xander Bogaerts is the best on his team. If, like, Vladdy, for example, who was born in Montreal, he is the best Canadian-born baseball player of all time. I don't give a fuck who I'm disrespecting. Sorry, Joey. But he is not the face of Canadian baseball.
Yeah. Okay, well, so they have a pretty solid infield with Xander Bogaerts, Didi Gregorius, Jonathan Scope, and Andrelton Simmons. Looks like there's a Charlin Scope here, too. I'm assuming there's probably a connection to him and Jonathan. That's kind of cool. And then in the outfield, we got Josh Palacios. I'm familiar with him because he was a Blue Jays prospect for a while. You got Jurickson Profar, and I think Ballantyne here is someone who's maybe got a little bit of big league experience under their belt, if I'm not mistaken. So, Andrew Jones also on the as a bench coach.
He's a bench coach.
That's pretty interesting.
Let's go.
Burt Blyleven, also a pitching coach for the team. So there's some big names with the Netherlands. They could definitely win a game.
They're a sneaky good team.
I agree with that, and especially based on the division that they're in as well. All right, we got.
Who are the other two teams? Sorry.
There's 5 teams. It's Chinese Taipei.
There's 5 teams. Right.
Netherlands, Cuba, Italy, and Panama. So let's go over. Let's check out.
They might sneak
Cuba.
in number 2.
Yeah, they might be a sneaky number 2 for sure. All right, Cuba here. Let's just we're gonna move this along and just really focus on the big names here. I'm not really seeing anyone on the pitching side of things that's jumping out at me for Cuba. With. I don't know about you, Isaac.
Yes, but the thing with Cuba is there's a lot of players. It's changing slowly. Defecting to the States to play American baseball is very difficult.
It's true.
We've seen Cuba win, I believe, before there was anybody actually defecting. Cuba has a very, very, very strong baseball network. So if you're not familiar with these guys, it doesn't mean that these guys aren't a contender to win.
Absolutely. And they have their independent league there, the Cuban league or whatever. That's a very high quality baseball league, like Isaac just alluded to. So, but on the pitching side of things, I'm going to be honest, I don't really recognize anyone here, but like Isaac said, that doesn't mean that they're lacking in talent. In terms of big league talent on the infield, you have Yoan Moncada. That's obviously a pretty big acquisition for him to represent Cuba there. He's a very good big league player. Andy Ibanez, I think he's kind of older, isn't he? But he's playing for them. Now we get to the outfielders. You think Cuban baseball players? The legend himself, Yoenis Cespedes. I don't know, Isaac. It's kind of between him and Shohei Ohtani for guys I'm most excited to see play in the WBC. I don't know if that's craziness, but I love Yoenis Cespedes, and I am excited to see him back on the
He
ball.
might be the most excited human that's ever walked the face of the earth.
Yeah, if you don't know things about anything about Yoenis Cespedes, just take a quick read of his Wikipedia page. He is an interesting dude. Did not really care that much about his his big league career. More cared about living life. So you gotta love a guy like that, right?
Yeah. Now, I do wonder, because there are Cuban players in the major leagues that aren't on this list, primarily Randy Rosarena.
Well, he's playing somewhere else, Isaac.
He is. See, that's what I was going to say. I was wondering, a lot of these Cuban-born players aren't necessarily playing for Cuba. And I wonder why, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, with how hard it is to defect from Cuba, I think a lot of people are nervous to kind of be under Cuban. Some people are nervous to be kind of under Cuban control again because of the way that the government has manipulated their ability to kind of come and go from the country. So I'm hoping that this is something that's changing and it's not going to be an issue as much moving forward. But it's good that there's like some big league guys in here that are willing to represent Cuba, because we know that like Isaac said, that the amount of Cuban talent in the MLB is not represented by this Cuban team, really, despite the fact that there is a few guys like, Yoan Moncada and Luis Robert, who obviously
who's the number one
is the best player on this team right now. So, yeah.
Cool. We went through Cuba.
We've gone through Cuba. So where do we go next? Panama?
They're my number one in this pool, I would think.
You think so?
Yeah. Them or Netherlands.
We'll go through when we go through the bracket, but I mean, I'd probably agree. I think we've already touched on the two best teams in the bracket, if we're being honest. But Panama is definitely a contender to get out of this pool, at least as either the winner or the runner-up, I would say. So Jaime Barria, that's obviously a big league arm there. Who else we got? Paulo Espino has been with the Nationals for a while. There's a lot of Nationals on this team. It's kind of interesting. Javi Guerra. Matt Hardy. Oh, I was thinking Matt Harvey. This is Matt Hardy. Born in the USA. That tripped me out. Justin Lawrence. Oh, he's born in the Panama Canal Zone? That's a different country? That's interesting.
Panama, because, well, I mean, lots of different countries run through there. Was he born
on a boat in the Panama Canal?
Born on a boat on the canal? Interesting, because Panama City is right in the canal zone, I would assume.
That is weird.
It is right on the canal. I mean, does America have part ownership in the canal? Because they kind of stole it, but... You know what would be cool? He's old. Very old. But the Panamanian legend, the greatest closer of all time, Mariano Rivera. I just want to see him reappear.
Yeah. People, I can't remember. I was listening to another podcast that was talking about the WBC, and they were saying the same thing. Like, he should just be pitching until he can't anymore, until he physically is not able. He should be participating in this event. All right, let's move on to the infielders here. You got Christian Bethancourt, who's obviously been with the Rays. Ruben Tejada. Wow. He's
been in the league.
That's interesting. Luis Castillo in the outfield. Yeah, I'm not really seeing as much. I thought I was going to recognize more people on this team, honestly.
I'm always surprised with Panama. That we don't see more familiar representation. But Panama does have a pretty big league. I remember also seeing there, unlike Czech, you can find baseball diamonds everywhere throughout Panama. I mean, it's not as big as like soccer and stuff, obviously, but it is a pretty big sport, and it's also easily accessible on TV.
Yeah. Yeah, so hopefully, I'm sure that's an area that we'll see growing. And as the popularity of this event grows, we're just going to see rosters get better and better. So, yeah. All right, let's go Italy now. First recognizable name here, the Blue Jays legend, Joe Biagini.
I forgot about him.
Sam Gaviglio, another Blue Jays legend. Matt Harvey, just a baseball legend in general.
I don't know if he's a baseball legend. He's more of
a notorious figure.
More of what are those magazines?
Like he's like infamous.
Yeah. on those pop culture magazine covers.
Yeah. So, I mean, Matt Harvey's going to be throwing it. He was, I think the Orioles were his most recent big league team, weren't they? He pitched a few innings.
But Matt Harvey doesn't give a fuck about baseball.
No.
So, don't have high expectations.
Well, obviously, I don't think that's true. Why would he be pitching in the World Baseball Classic if he didn't care about baseball?
To get his name out there again.
Yeah, I guess. Matt Festa looks...
I don't know.
I
mean, obviously we shouldn't listen. We don't know this guy personally. But I've heard he's a very difficult guy to manage on a roster.
He's a bit of a personality. Andre Palante, he is... or Palante, he's with the Cards, I believe. On to catchers. Not seeing anything. Okay, infielders, we got a couple interesting things here. David Fletcher, obviously a player for the Angels. And then you got Nicky Lopez, a shortstop for the Kansas City Royals. Vinny Pasquantino, actually kind of an interesting guy here. He's kind of like a big prospect. Like the Royals have a lot of expectations for him.
He's definitely a guy I'm probably going to be tuned into. I think he's probably the most exciting guy on this team to watch.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Just seeing any prospects play on a big stage is always interesting. So his inclusion is welcomed.
Interesting manager here. The manager, Mike Piazza.
GOAT himself.
That's pretty cool.
Cool. Okay.
All right. Well, that's it for Pool A. Should we pick our winners from Pool A right now? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to share this tab instead. So you can see here that this is our bracket, or you can't see here, you're just listening if this is just audio. But we are going to make our picks. So I will make my picks first. I think that Cuba is going to win Pool A. So I'm going to make them the Pool A winner. And I think that my second choice is going to be the Netherlands. I think they have
I'm definitely going
a
with
big
the
league
Kingdom
infield.
of Netherlands.
And I think that it's gonna propel them through. So they're gonna be my Pool A runner-up. But I also kind of think that those are interchangeable. Like I think Cuba or Netherlands could win. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna switch it. I think that Netherlands is the winner of Pool A.
Okay.
And I think that Cuba is going to be the runner-up.
Okay.
What about you, Isaac? Who are you picking?
Reverse those. I'm Cuba winner and Netherlands second.
Okay.
I would like to see Panama grow.
Me too.
Because I think they can definitely be a contender. And look, Taiwan might be a very sneaky team. Now it's Taiwan, but we on international sports level, China still claims them.
Okay.
I still believe Taiwan has a legitimate chance.
Okay.
I think Italy might be the number 5.
Really? Well, Italy was also, they had an unfortunate omission. They were supposed to have Jordan Romano, and he didn't end up. He ended up backing out of it. So that's a bit of a loss.
Well, that is good for the other teams, I guess.
Yeah. All right. I don't know how far a reliever can really carry you, though, if I'm being honest. But
I guess you have to have the lead for him to come in.
Exactly.
Or at least put him in high leverage. They might not have many of those.
All right, Isaac, let's move on to Pool B, I suppose. I think will we go to Instagram for this? I like the way that it's laid out better on Instagram. So I'm going to go to the Instagram post here.
So Czech Republic through, though, right?
Czech Republic through, you think?
I'm just so amazed that they qualified. Like, I know because there's a lot of Italian American players, a lot of Dutch players, and I learned the Kingdom of Netherlands. I know now we know why they're the Kingdom of Netherlands. They're representing all of their colonized countries as well.
Yeah,
and their inclusion in that, better or worse, but
all right, Pool B. So Pool B has a few Asian countries, and they also have Australia and Czech Republic. So the Asian countries being Japan, Korea, and China. So let's go through. Let's start with the big one, Japan. So we've got obviously Shohei is the big draw for Team Japan. He's going to be both pitching and hitting in this event, which is awesome.
Not according to this.
That's what he does. Yeah, according to this. Yeah. He's here too somewhere.
Is he listed on both?
He's right here.
No.
Shohei Ohtani.
Oh, he's right there. Yeah. Okay.
He's under both. So I guess we'll go through position players first, though. Lars Nootbaar is kind of an interesting guy on this roster. Not exactly I don't think.
I believe his mom was born in Japan, or is it his dad? One of his parents is born in Japan.
That's cool. He'll be playing for them. Seiya Suzuki, Cubs player. Obviously, he got a pretty decent sized contract and came over to the MLB for his first season last year.
Slightly disappointing.
Slightly disappointing, but honestly, a pretty decent adjustment year, I guess I would say. It was.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential in him.
Yeah, and respectable numbers, and he did really big things when he was playing in the Nippon Professional Baseball League. So,
coming into the States too, he was according to Bet365 or Bet360, whatever it is, he was the top rated candidate for Rookie of the Year in the NL, I think. Pretty sure I remember that.
Yeah. Well, I think I picked him to win
the three.
He obviously didn't end up.
Yeah, I might have followed that up, and then I think that's where the disappointment was, because he really didn't. I don't think he actually contended till the end for that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So then also we got Masataka Yoshida, who just signed a big deal with the Boston Red Sox. He is an outfielder. And then you got a bunch of guys that I have personally never heard of, but in terms of position players, but I'm sure that they are basically stars in their own right in the Japanese Professional League, which is arguably, I don't even know if it's arguable at this point. It's kind of considered the second best global baseball league in terms of overall talent. Would you agree with that, Isaac?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, just look at some of these players on this list, and look how big of stars they have become more on the pitching side.
Yeah, and they started in that league, all of them.
Yeah.
Except Lars Nootbaar, maybe.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever played over there. And who knows what he does.
On the pitcher side, obviously Shohei, as we mentioned, is going to be pitching as well. But we got Yu Darvish, which is pretty huge. He's awesome. And also
he's either absolutely amazing or he's
Yeah, but
he has the weirdest career ace record, because he's at times the most dominant pitcher in baseball, and at times he's tipping everything.
Yeah. When he's
came always over, been an odd guy.
He was, in terms of Japanese players coming from the MPB and coming to or the Nippon Professional Baseball League and coming to the MLB, his entry and his height was probably the second biggest, I would say, to
yes.
besides Shohei in my memory.
No. Ooh. Okay, if we're going besides Shohei, then he's number 3, because number 1 was Ichiro.
Ichiro, yeah, I guess.
I guess you could make a case now that the most exciting entry was Shohei, but I think when we're gonna look back in 20 years, I do think the biggest impact. Actually, I don't know.
No, I think it was Shohei.
Ichiro has done more in the league.
Yeah,
Ichiro is one of the greatest players of all time.
Yes, it's true, but I think Shohei also could be. And the fact that he came over as a two-way player, that generated so much hype. But
it's modern day Babe Ruth. Hey, he's a existent Babe Ruth,
non-fictional Babe Ruth.
Non-fictional Babe Ruth.
I think. Oh no, I thought Senga was pitching for them. Kodai Senga doesn't look like he actually is anymore.
Shohei Togo.
Sounds familiar to you?
It sounds familiar to me, but I could be thinking of something.
They've got
else.
pitchers, man.
I don't know.
Like, I know that this is going to be a very good squad. This is one of those teams where, through our introduction and, like, hyping them up here, not going to do them justice. They are definitely a contender. Just the way that they actually play international baseball, their style of play, like, they play anywhere. They can win anywhere. They can always win one game, I would say. So I think Japan is definitely a force to be reckoned with and kind of the clear favorite in this group as well.
Alrighty, next.
Next up, we got Korea. One of the more interesting adds here is Tommy Edman, who has been an all-star for the St. Louis Cardinals. And he's going to be joining Team Korea. Ha-Seong Kim
I had no idea
is with the Padres. He's like their starting shortstop, I think. Byung-ho Park. Who else we got here? I know I'm probably passing over someone. Ji Hoon Choi, not to be confused with Ji Man Choi, who played for the Tampa Bay Rays. And then on the pitching side of things, I don't...
Is Jiwon O?
Maybe.
Wait. I don't know.
Wait. Oh, Suwon Park played in the big leagues too. I'm pretty sure. Where did you see O?
I don't really know any of the pitchers.
Yeah, I don't know any of them either. All right, let's move on. But again, KBO, probably like the third tier 3 in terms of professional baseball leagues, maybe. So again, kind of like Japan, they have a very established baseball culture and baseball league that is the KBO, and they generate some talent as well. So another force in this bracket. Australia is
Tommy. I like to. Sorry, I just like to go back to like the American-born players that are representing different countries to see what their lineage is. Mm-hmm. Tommy Edman's mother was born in South Korea and moved to the States as a child.
Cool.
So, yeah, I like to know that information.
Also, for the record,
I don't know if anyone else does.
For the record, I have seen some idiots in comments saying that people need to play for the country that they were born in. That is just the dumbest fucking argument. If that's actually what you think, like, just unsubscribe from our podcast right now, because that has absolutely nothing to do with people's heritage. And like, to be honest, take Vladimir Guerrero Jr. for example. Like, he doesn't even really speak English. His whole like identity and familial culture is being a Dominican person, and just because he was born in Canada, because his dad was playing in Canada, does not mean that he should be forced to represent Canada if that's not where he kind of identifies his foundations from. So that's why I like the kind of loose lineage that is allowed in this tournament. Yeah, and I would feel bad for Vladdy in particular, if they forced him to compete for Canada. Like, it's like, obviously I'm sure there's like, he identifies himself along the Dominican side. He spent his childhood growing up there. It's like, how are you going to strip him away because he was essentially born on a vacation? Yeah, pretty much. It's so true. Like, okay, where were we? Okay, Australia.
We're in Australia. Australia has a baseball league.
They do. It's not nearly
with one
as
team in Auckland,
though.
New Zealand.
Aaron Whitefield is an outfielder for the Angels, I think, which doesn't really say much because they don't really have the most reputable reputation in terms of generating good prospects and stuff like that. But nonetheless, he has big league experience.
Is Liam Hendricks injured?
No, he has cancer.
Oh shit! I knew this.
Yeah. So Liam Hendricks is kind of like the most
Liam.
recognizable Australian-born player, I would say, especially at this time, anyways.
An all-around great human, and I should have been more aware.
Yeah, and he came out with his like diagnosis of, I think, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma over the winter. So he is working on his recovery right now, and sending our best wishes to him. Obviously, he's really established himself as just an awesome player to watch and interesting guy, and can only hope for the best.
Great
for
person
him.
off the field too.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's unfortunate.
Will Sheriff, I think, is I'm pretty sure he's like a left-handed pitcher for I want to say the Yankees. That might be wrong. Maybe the Phillies now. I don't know. I swear I saw him pitch the other day. I think he's the Yankees, but I'm pretty sure he's got some big league experience under his belt. That's about it.
We probably don't have to spend any more time on this roster.
China roster. You're not going to... people were making a big deal. You see it in the comments here. China, Alan Carter. How does China have someone named Alan Carter on their team? Isaac, why don't you look up Alan Carter and tell us how he's there?
I can't even find this guy. It pulls up a news anchor for Global News.
Oh, no.
Let me see. Baseball.
Again, I think it's probably pretty obvious how he's there. It's just lineage.
His middle name is Zhang.
What's his name?
His middle name is Zhang. He was actually he was born in Singapore.
Interesting.
By the way, people. So if you want him to be on America, he wasn't even born in America. His lineage is in China.
There you go.
What part of him, other than his name, sounds American to you?
Nothing.
I can't find it because he doesn't have a Wikipedia page. So,
okay.
He went to Columbus State University. That's all I know. So,
right on.
He grew up, I'm assuming, somewhere stateside, and then he's born in Singapore. But I'm assuming then he must have some form of China lineage because Singapore is its own country. Yeah. I don't know.
All right. That's it for China. I don't know anybody. Skip.
No.
Czech Republic. Again, not going to try to pronounce any other name than Eric Sogard, who is on this roster.
And Jeff Bartow.
Jeff Bartow? Oh, yeah, okay.
The only reason I don't know who he is, I just can say his name.
Same. Okay. David Morgans, that seems kind of easy to say.
Yeah. Jan Novak.
If we really tried, we could say these. Matej Mensek, Wojtek Mensik,
Jakub Kubica,
Martin Music. All right, but Eric Sogard is the only big league player on this team, and he's also the only player that was not born in Czech Republic that is on this team, and also the only player that I think was not from that league. So that's it.
That to me, the Czech Republic's team is the coolest team ever.
Yeah.
That they play in a Czech league.
Okay, so let's do let's move our teams on here. I think this one's pretty easy for me. I'm taking Japan as the winner. Pool B winner. And I'm going to take Korea as the runner-up. Isaac?
It's a tough quarterfinal.
Who are you taking? Same?
Japan 1. And Korea 2. See, I don't want Cuba and Japan to play in the quarterfinal. I want to see both of them through to the semis.
Okay. I hope Czech Republic wins. This is not representative of who I'm cheering for. I'm hoping.
I'm definitely. Yeah.
My ideal winner here is actually Japan winning the bracket because I think that's just kind of inevitable, and then Czech Republic moving through as the runner-up. That's what I hope for. Not very confident that that's what we're going to get though. So.
Yeah, you should have zero confidence in that.
Yeah. All right, let's move.
Ideal life, it would be Panama, number 1 seed, and Cuba, number 2.
Yeah, because you love Panama, right?
For me. Panama's a vibe. It's the only Latin American country I've been to, so we'll go with that. You should cheer for Mexico.
I am cheering for Mexico. And
Are we getting?
we're going to talk to that right now. Let's go Pool C. So Pool C is one that there's a lot going on in. And it features the USA, Canada, Mexico, and Great Britain. Is that it? Oh, and Colombia. Okay, cool. So let's see. It starts with the United States. And this one, Isaac, is fucking stacked. They got a fantastic turnout, especially on the position player side of things in this tournament. Let's just rip through. First baseman for the Mets, Pete Alonso. He's got 55 home runs in his pocket for one single season. Tim Anderson has a batting title.
Just run through them all because you're going to get them all. Like, they all have some massive accolades.
Nolan Arenado, Hall of Famer. Mookie Betts, probably Hall of Famer. Paul Goldschmidt, Hall of Famer. Kyle Higashioka, backup catcher for the Yankees. That's kind of a bit of a downfall, I guess. Jeff McNeil, who I think might have won a batting title.
Hits everything.
Cedric Mullins, JT Realmuto, that's their starting catcher, obviously. Kyle Schwarber, bomb hitter, obviously. Will Smith, also catcher. So I guess does that make catcher. Kyle Higashioka the third string catcher then? If they have Will Smith and JT.
Oh, yeah, and JT. I forgot about JT. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you got Hall of Famer Mike Trout, awesome player for the Astros, Kyle Tucker, Greg's favorite player, and one of our favorite players to watch probably, I would say too, Trey Turner.
5-category player in fantasy.
Yep. And then Bobby Witt Jr. That is just insanely stacked.
Okay, Bobby Witt. The craziest part of this is Bobby Witt Jr. is the most intriguing player on this roster for me. The one I'm by far most excited for is Bobby Witt Jr.
Is that just because you're like excited to see him play with an actual good team and see what he looks like in a lineup like this?
Yeah, I'm also just engaged by prospects and people that have potential to be the future generational stars, and Bobby Witt Jr. is that guy.
Yeah,
potentially.
Yeah,
so
sick. This team's gonna. It's like It's literally an all-star lineup. Like this would be a.
I really don't give a fuck about these pitchers though.
Well, here's the thing about the pitchers. Their starting pitchers are not fantastic. They're good, not great, I would say. But their bullpen, Isaac, is sleepy elite. Jason Adam is filthy. Daniel Bard, filthy. Who else we got here? There was someone else too. Ryan Presley, obviously, super talented. Oh, Devin Williams, the airbender.
There it is. That's the best reliever in the league.
Yeah.
Okay, starting pitcher. I just love Adam Wainwright being in this. This just makes my life.
That's just like a true American right there. That's a guy you want on the bump for the U.S. representing the United States of America. Brady Singer is like a kind of crappy pitcher for the. I mean, he's young, but he hasn't been very good in the big leagues so far. For the Royals,
he's young enough.
Yeah, he is young. Miles Mikolas has obviously had some success. Lance Lynn, everyone knows about him. I wonder if he'll be doing nut grabs on the world stage. Clayton Kershaw no longer on the line or on this roster. He backed out. I think Nestor Cortez also backed out, so he won't be there either.
Do you know who Kershaw got replaced with?
I don't. We can go to the other rosters and check.
No, it's fine. Let's move along.
Move on. Okay.
We know there's star power on that team.
Yeah, they're sick. They're a favorite. Not, I wouldn't say the favorite to win, but they're a favorite to win. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, Canada. Again, rocking the Canada jersey. You know, I got to represent.
Best roster they've ever fielded.
This is a great roster for Canada, honestly. And honestly, Canada has won some games in the WBC over time. So a lot of these guys have already played together. Some of the guys that we don't really recognize as much, perhaps, or guys that are kind of past their prime, like a John Axford on the pitcher side, has represented Canada before. So
about 50 years old.
Yeah, okay. Obviously, the biggest star on Canada's roster is Freddie Freeman. He'll be playing first base for them. That's a huge grab for them. He's a guy. Was he born in the USA? I think he was.
I think his mom or dad is from Canada. One of them is
his
Canada.
mom is Canadian. And so
I'm very thankful that she is, because we get Freddie Freeman.
Yeah. So shout out Freddie's mom.
No matter how star-studded that American roster is, he could have been on that team. Yeah. If he wanted to be on that team, he would be on that team.
So shout out Freddie for representing his mom and representing
Thank you,
Canada.
Freddie, for making the sacrifice and coming to probably a losing roster.
Yeah, and letting Pete Alonso play for USA. Otto Lopez is a Blue Jays prospect. Bo Naylor is a Canadian catching prospect. Tyler O'Neill obviously has had some...
Prospect?
Bo Naylor? That's not Josh Naylor.
He's been in the league for Oh, true.
Bo Naylor is Josh Naylor's brother. Josh Naylor is not participating in this. Bo Naylor is the catcher. Tyler O'Neill obviously has one really good big league season under his belt for the St. Louis Cardinals. Absolutely jacked also, so, I mean, look for his muscles, I guess, in the tournament. Damiano Palmigiani, people have been saying that he's like a pretty intriguing prospect, so he'll be there. Abraham Toro has played for the Seattle Mariners. Also, did he play for the Rays?
If you play the show and zoom ahead 5 years, Abraham Toro is good.
There you go. Pitching side of things, you got some guys that are kind of washed up has-been players. Andrew Albers being one of those. John Axford, who actually had a pretty good big league career, but
let's go to
he's very retired now. Trevor Bryden is a prospect I'm aware of. Adam Lowen, I think he's spent some time in the
starters,
bro. Nick Pivetta has dropped out. He's no longer on the roster. Cal Quantrill is kind of like the Team Canada's best starting pitcher here. I don't think we need... Oh, Matt Brash is the best arm on the team, I would say, as well. But yeah, let's move on. Mexico has our favorite player, Randy Arozarena. Also have Austin Barnes.
Is Soroka injured?
What? Is Soroka injured? Yes. Well, he's still... I don't think he's injured. I think he's going to play to start the season, but I don't think that he is feeling healthy enough to pitch in this and risk his health. Jaron Duran is a Boston Red Sox outfielder. Alejandro Kirk has dropped out because of the birth of his child. Congratulations to him also. Joey Meneses is a prospect for the Nationals, I believe. That's hit some homers. I guess he's not really a prospect anymore. I think he played a lot of last season with them. Just a really young, talented player. Rowdy Tellez, obviously Blue Jays legend, current Milwaukee Brewer.
Wait, did you say Rowdy Tellez was their favorite player?
No, I said Randy Arozarena.
Oh my god, okay.
Who we also mentioned, we mentioned him earlier, obviously, because
in Cuba,
he has Cuban lineage as well.
He was born in Cuba.
Born in Cuba. Yeah. Playing for Mexico. So you can look up his lineage there if you want, Isaac.
I would like to.
Rowdy Tellez, like I just said. Alex Verdugo. And, Luis Urias as well as a big league infielder. So, honestly, a pretty, I think Mexico is a sneaky good team here. And we'll talk about it in a second, but I could see them making some noise in this tournament, and their odds, when I looked it up, were plus 5,500 to win. So I may or may not have put a little bit of money on Mexico winning the tournament just because of how juicy the return was. It is obviously a stretch. But on the pitching side of things, it's a little bit weaker than their lineup, but they do still have some good arms. Giovanni Gallegos obviously is a really good bullpen arm for this team. Luis Sessa I think he's a Yankee. He's had some success. Oliver Perez. Who else we got here? On the starting side of things, though, their starting depth is actually decent. Patrick Sandoval is kind of a sneaky good pitcher for the Angels. Julio Urias is clearly their best pitcher on this team, and also like just a great pitcher. Cy Young contender kind of caliber of guy. Jose Urquidy has had some success with the Houston Astros, and Taiwan Walker joining the Mexico roster as well. So they have a good starting rotation. I would say they have four like legitimate big league starters in this rotation in Patrick Sandoval, Julio Urias, Taiwan Walker, and Jose Urquidy. So I like Mexico, Isaac. I think they're super sleeper.
Never mind. Yeah, I like them too.
And Great Britain, we're not even going to talk about them. We're just going to skip them.
I got information on Randy.
Okay.
So, since he's been in the big leagues, I guess his home is in Mexico. His daughter was born in Mexico in 2018, and in 2022, he officially became a Mexican citizen. So,
cool.
He is a Mexican citizen, even.
Shout out Randy. I'm really. If there's like one team that I'm excited to watch, obviously we're going to talk about them in Pool D. Dominican is going to be crazy. They're so stacked. USA is stacked as well. But I am just really excited to see Mexico play. I think that they could make some noise in this tournament.
Mexico is very exciting. I do think they're one of the more exciting teams in the tournament, regardless.
All right.
And we know what we're getting from all the American players.
Oh, wait, I skipped Colombia. What the fuck am I doing?
Why'd you skip Colombia?
That was an accident. I didn't mean to.
Throw us some respect. We're just skipping Great Britain.
I skipped Great
They're
Britain.
boring as hell.
There's nothing of note on Great
Fuck
Britain.
them. And they're boring.
Yeah, they're a bunch of posers too. We don't need them. It's fine. Okay. Colombia has some recognizable names here. Jorge Alfaro is a catcher / corner outfielder. Who else we got here? I was kind of disappointed. I thought Colombia had some. They're kind of like Panama to me. I thought I was going to see more. Donovan Solano, Gio Urshela, Harold Ramirez, Tampa Bay Ray. Kind of underrated. That's about it on the position player side of things. In terms of pitchers, looks like we've got a Jose Quintana, Julio Teheran, and that's about it for Colombia, I think. But also, like, I would say, I'm not even sharing the right thing now.
Yeah, I already said that, but you ignored me when I said that, so I was like, I'll just let you finish whatever you're finishing.
Sorry,
and then we can
that's
just
for our visual watchers here. Sorry, this is the Colombia roster here. So, as I was saying, Donovan Solano, Gio Urshela.
We got it.
Yeah, okay, let's go back to the bracket, though. And
Colombia's got some years before they can compete.
Yeah. I honestly think, though, like, obviously, to me, I'll make my pick now. USA is the obvious winner of this bracket. I don't think it's even particularly close. The only team I think that could actually beat them in like one game is Mexico, and I don't really think it's going to happen, especially in the pool, the first round. And then I'm going to take Mexico as my second
Our
team.
brackets are going to be very similar.
Our brackets are like basically exactly the same so far, except for you picked...
it may change going into the semis and then the finals.
Yeah. Okay, let's go back to the rosters. Share this tab.
Did you already do my bracket as well?
Oh, fuck, Isaac. I'm so sorry.
It's fine. You can do mine now.
No, we'll do yours now. It's the same as mine, though, right?
It's the same as yours.
Okay.
Just throw an outlier out and say Great Britain makes it through.
That's not a flyer. That's just a straight up liar. That's not happening.
You know, there's potentially, like, you could take Canada as a biased flyer just on the back of Freddie Freeman carrying that roster, but no.
I actually, like, I would say that, it's baseball. Things are going to happen. On paper, Mexico is the second strongest team in that, and I don't think it's really particularly that close. But I wouldn't be that surprised if, like, Canada or Colombia actually made it as the runner-up. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. But I think it's going to be Mexico. All right, Pool D. This is the D for dominant pool. This is just fantastic. Okay, so jumping into the Dominican roster, this on paper, we talked about how stacked the USA roster is. The Dominican roster is by far the best because their pitching side of things is crazy. And their position side of things is also quite nuts here. Isaac, do you want to run through them this time, or give my voice a break?
Yeah, I'm just gonna name drop them all because they're all household. Most of them are household. Willie Adames, Robinson Cano. That's wild. That Cano's in it. I love that. Nelson Cruz, your boy. Yep. My boy Rafael Devers. Wander Franco. Always exciting. Vladdy. Teo Hernandez. Eloy Jimenez. Manny Machado. Ketel Marte. We'll skip Jeremy Pena. Julio Rodriguez is the number one guy I want to see in this tournament.
Yeah. That's your guy, yeah.
Gary Sanchez, the guy I want to see least in this tournament. And then Gene Segura. And then Juan Soto, who is we're still waiting. We're still waiting on Juan Soto to be who we think he is, who is the best player of all time.
Yeah, and who baseball always talks about him being, even though the numbers haven't really even supported that. But that's okay. He's still Juan Soto.
That's fine. The best pitcher in my mind, my favorite pitcher of all time now, I'm claiming it, Sandy Alcantara. Diego Castillo is a reliever. Johnny Cueto, let's go. Good thing I don't think they have the pitch clock rules because Johnny Cueto would benefit from not having that.
No, they don't have the pitch clock rules. It's like old MLB rules, basically.
Yeah, Carlos Estevez, Luis Garcia, Jaime Garcia, Christian Javier, Rafael Montero, Hector Neris, Joel Payamps, Gregory Soto, who's a little wild.
You know what? I think I discredited. I actually think that the USA has better pitching.
I do think as I was going through the pitching, I was like, this is where Dominican is kind of lacking.
Why did I think it was so much more stacked? I mean, Sandy obviously is the best pitcher in this tournament, but
yeah, no, he is clearly the best pitcher in this tournament. Like, USA isn't fielding their best pitchers.
Mm-hmm. Like, Camilo Doval is a really good relief pitcher. They got Jimmy Garcia, Blue Jays. They have good relievers. I feel like they're going to have to kind of piece it together. Christian Javier obviously had a really good season. Rafael Montero, also. Like, it's a lot of relievers. Like, they're really the only starters I'm seeing here, Isaac, are Sandy Alcantara and Christian Javier,
which is kind of weird to me. Dominican has some good pitchers. They've had great pitchers throughout their past too. Mm-hmm. They have arguably the best pitcher of all time in Pedro Martinez.
Pedro.
Yeah. I mean, Bartolo Colon coming out. That would be cool.
That would be sick.
48 year old or something now.
Is he actually Dominican? Is that confirmed? Why did I think he was Colombian?
I can confirm it. I thought maybe he was Colombian too, actually.
Okay, Venezuela, also a sneaky team that I may have put some money on. Let's go through it. Ronald Acuna Jr., Jose Altuve, Luis Ariz, Miguel Cabrera, who's way past his prime, but is still Miguel Cabrera. Robinson Chirinos is a catcher. Eduardo Escobar has had some good years. Omar Narvaez, David Peralta, another old guy. Sal Perez, I didn't actually realize he was on this roster. That's cool. Luis Rengifo, Miguel Rojas, Anthony Santander, sneaky good outfielder. Eugenio Suarez, and Isaac's favorite, Gleyber Torres.
I hate Gleyber Torres.
But that's honestly, Isaac, tell me that's not a good lineup. Like, this is
no, they actually have a very good lineup.
Like, you put this together as like a big league lineup, and you're like, I like this team. I think
that's a contender.
Yeah, Venezuela, man, and again another team. They were like plus. They weren't plus 5,500 like Mexico was, but they were plus 3,500 to win the tournament. They were like not nearly the favorite. And I like Venezuela a lot in this tournament.
Definitely a team you'd like to root for as well.
Yeah. A fun country. Okay, Max Castillo, recognizable. Jose Alvarado, also, he's a lefty kind of flamethrower guy. Julie Chassin will be one of their starters. Who else we got here? Eliezer Hernandez will be one of their starters. Pablo Lopez, that's pretty good. That's pretty solid.
That's a good one.
Jesus Luzardo. I'm still not completely sold on him as a pitcher, but in terms of talent in the WBC, that's a solid guy to have on your team. Herman Marquez, pitching outside of Coors Field is always a good thing for him.
It's always nice.
Martin Perez, Isaac, he just had a fantastic year with Texas last year. Fantastic might be a bit of a stretch, but he had a really good year with them. Eduardo Rodriguez, honestly, the pitchers on Venezuela, I like this pitching group a little bit better than Dominican even.
Yeah, they actually have their pitching top to bottom is almost like the most consistent out of all the teams we've seen.
Very solid.
That we know of. I don't know about Korea, and I don't know about Japan's pitching.
No, we slept on the USA now. Looking at these other pitching rosters, USA's is...
All it comes down to is who is replacing Kershaw. It's what I don't know.
It's true.
Dude, this is the best fucking division.
Yeah, the D is... That's why I said D for dominant for Pool D here.
That's not even fair.
Yeah, let's move on from Venezuela, though. Let's go Puerto Rico. So they got Javi Baez... not the Edwin Diaz of pitching arms.
But Boston's Edwin Diaz.
But Boston's Edwin Diaz is a position player for them. They got Kike Hernandez, Francisco Lindor, Martin Maldonado will be their catcher. MJ Melendez is a guy who hits tanks for Kansas City. Eddie Rosario.
People hit tanks in Kansas City?
Yeah, I think he had 26 home runs or something last year.
Yeah, you really have to hit tanks if you're getting the ball out in Kansas City.
Yeah, and he did. Eddie Rosario.
I mean, Salvi did it.
Yep. And that's kind of... Christian Vasquez. Yeah. Pretty solid little lineup there. Obviously, Lindor is kind of the big guy in the middle of that. Javi Baez. Kind of interesting to see Javi and Frankie back together. I think that's kind of cool. They had a cool little connection with the Mets, I think. On the pitcher side of things, you got Jose Barrios, Alex Claudio's reliever. Edwin Diaz of the Mets. Going to be cool to hear the Tommy Trumpet song or whatever that he plays coming in. Hopefully we'll get some
Edwin Diaz. So there's Boston's Edwin Diaz and there's the Edwin Diaz.
Exactly.
No disrespect to Boston Edwin Diaz, but that name is claimed by a phenomenal closer.
Yep. They also have Emilio Pagan in the bullpen. Marcus Stroman. Actually a WBC legend. I'm pretty sure, didn't he win the WBC MVP?
Maybe. For America.
For USA. Yeah, now he's representing Puerto Rico.
Because he played for USA. And I'm glad he's playing for Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. Another good team. Definitely a possibility for them to make some noise. Isreal is interesting, but not a threat, I would say. Spencer Horwitz is actually a sleeper. Good Blue Jays prospect. He also hits tanks. Jock Pederson, Garrett Stubbs. That kind of highlights... Jock Pederson and Garrett Stubbs are really the only big leaguers in terms of position players. Danny Valencia, former position player in the big leagues. On the pitcher side of things...
I thought Kevin Pillar was supposed to play on this.
Pillar was? Really?
I thought he was.
I didn't know that. Richard Blyer is a kind of washed up old pitcher. Who else we got? Dean Kramer. He's a starter for Baltimore. And that's about it. All right, moving on from Israel. Nicaragua. I don't know if we're going to recognize anyone here.
Super lit how they qualified. I didn't know.
I'm just going through quickly. And
I don't know
Jonathan Loizaga. There you go. That's kind of interesting.
Oh, got one.
Erasmo Ramirez also. So there you go. I recognize 2 people on Nicaragua.
Their names are in the pictures. Interesting.
Yeah. That's cool.
Probably maybe number 4. They have their own battle with Isreal.
Yeah. But it'll be a contest to see who wins that game.
Yeah.
Okay. There we go.
This one's kind of tough.
Pool D is
This
sick.
one's tough because there's 3.
I'll let you
There's
make your
3
pick
very
first,
good
and then
teams.
I'll make mine. Okay?
Okay.
Because I don't want
Pull
to.
my
Maybe I've
bracket.
been influencing you on the former picks. Oh, I got to share the tab. Here we go. Okay. Who are you taking in
that's
Pool
your
D?
tab. That's your tab. Is that not your tab or is that mine?
No, this is yours. You're good.
Oh, I thought you didn't put in mine.
No, it's your bracket.
Okay, you did.
Who are you taking?
Okay. Whew. I'm gonna pick winner Venezuela.
Venezuela is the winner? Damn, bro.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm doing it. Fuck it. I want to see it. This is hopeful
Oops.
because I want Dominican to knock out fucking USA in the quarterfinals.
Oh, that'd be sick. I like that.
That's why I'm. This is a hopeful bracket. So please, anybody, the people might read this and not actually listen and look at me like an idiot. But I really want Dominican to knock USA out as early as possible. So
I actually love this.
and that's just because I love watching the more Dominican's obviously not an underdog, but I'd like to watch Venezuela just sneak their way into the semifinals.
Dude, I love your
So that's the only way.
Yeah. Your quarterfinals pool here is so sick. Both of these games would be amazing. You have
That's why I wanted it. I'm doing it for matchups. I'm not doing it for
games,
like
the quarterfinals. USA versus Dominican, one of them is going home. And then you got Mexico versus Venezuela. Those are just awesome games. Oh my god.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm picking for. I want to see good matchups.
You're not picking.
And that's
you're not picking the winners.
Please
You're
don't
picking
judge my
based on
brackets.
matchups. You're picking like dream
I'm picking
games.
based on who I would
Yeah.
love to see matched up against each other.
That's sick. Okay, I love yours. I'm gonna do it a little bit differently, but kind of similar. I kind of hate how much crossover we have going. None of us are really. We're not taking flyers yet at this point, anyways.
I guess
Venezuela.
Venezuela beating out Dominican, basically.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna take Dominican. Also, we can't discount Puerto Rico. They're definitely a good team as well, and could easily make it out as not easily, but they could make it out as the runner-up. But I'm gonna take Dominican as the Pool D winner, and then I'm gonna take Venezuela.
I do think this is the matchup. This Pool D is a division that's going to have the lowest number of points between each other because they're all going to be like they're all going to be Isreal, Nicaragua.
Yeah,
I can't even say these fucking names.
okay.
But
We've been talking for a long time now.
But the top 3 they're all going to have crazy matchups.
Yeah.
Unless Dominican is just raking offensively, which it might happen.
All right. Well, now we've gone through all the rosters and shit, Isaac, and we have created our quarterfinal matchups. Let's jump back to the quarterfinal 1 matchups. Game 1 for me, I have the Netherlands versus Korea. I am going to take the Netherlands to move on. So they are going to be the quarterfinal winners for game 1. Quarterfinal 1 winner. That's here, I think. Yeah. Okay. Who are you taking? You have Cuba versus Korea. Who are you taking to win that game?
Cuba.
Okay. Let's stick with your bracket here, Isaac. Get you to go back to back. Game 2 of the quarterfinals. You have Netherlands versus Japan. Who are you taking?
Japan.
Playing it safe, eh?
I don't like how these brackets are stacked up because I do think the right side of the bracket is stronger than the left
It's
side
way
of the
stronger.
bracket.
But you have to realize like they're doing it based on
Although they do switch.
like
never mind.
so Pool A is taking place in Taiwan. Like the Pool A games are taking place
Jacob,
in Taiwan.
wait.
What?
Okay, see how quarterfinals 1. Oh wait, game 1, game 2.
No,
You see how quarterfinals 2 is below quarterfinals 1 in the semifinal bracket? Do they switch over? Or is that game 3, game 4? Oh no, you're right. Okay,
I got it. Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah, I do. I looked at this in detail yesterday to make sure we weren't fucking it up. So if we're fucking it up, then I'm just
so this is correct.
Yeah.
Okay, because I don't want Cuba and Japan to play each other in the semifinals.
Yeah. So they also had these little asterisk things down here that basically meant that if Japan or USA didn't win their bracket, they were going to still be considered the Pool B winner or the Pool C winner. So basically, the way they scheduled it, they just expect that Japan and USA are going to win their brackets, which is kind of interesting.
Fuck that. Dominican is going to kill USA. Let's go. I honestly think Dominican is the best offense. They are the best offense in this tournament.
Yeah, for sure. The best offense for sure.
Julio
And I thought that they were the best
Vladdy.
pitching roster too, but they're not now that I think about it.
They're not.
So
I think all these pitching rosters are on the right side pretty balanced.
Yeah. And I would agree that to me the Pool C and D, those games are going to be much more exciting to watch, I think, especially in the early stages. But like I was saying, Isaac, so Pool A takes place in Taiwan. That's kind of regional to the 5 teams that are there, with the exception of Cuba, who has to fly all the and Panama. And Netherlands, because, I guess technically, that Pool A is just kind of a concoction of teams. It's like all the rest, kind of, they put in there.
In Taiwan, there's only 2 countries from Asia. We have 3 from Asia, and 1 from Oceania, and then 1 that has to fly all the way from Europe.
Yeah. But that's Pool B is taking place
randomized
in Tokyo, and then Pool C taking place in Phoenix, and Pool D taking place in Miami. So there is kind of regional aspects of it. They did what they could. Obviously, Isreal, I think they can sit. They're kind of like USA because of how many players are not from Isreal. But then, I don't know. I feel like they did their best to kind of make it regional countries, and Mexico, USA, Canada, Great Britain. There's connections there too in terms of just where we're at. So I think it's kind of interesting, and that's why they formed the structure of this from. But I do agree that Pool C and D it seems so much more fun over there. Okay, so wait, we have to do mine still. My winner for game 2, I've got Cuba versus Japan. I am going to also bend the knee and take Japan. Okay. I don't think I used that phrase properly either. Bending the knee. But just ignore that part. All right. Then we'll stick to mine. Let's go Pool C. Oh, well, not Pool C, actually. Quarterfinals 2, Game 3. For me, I have Mexico versus Dominican. And unfortunately, I think this is where the Mexico run ends. And I'm sad to see it because I like the Mexico team. But I also still, despite how stacked the Dominican Republic is, and despite the fact that I am taking them here, I still wouldn't be that surprised to see Mexico win. I think that they're a really good, sneaky team. All right, Isaac. You have established a sick matchup here in quarterfinal game 3. You have Mexico versus Venezuela. Who is moving on from this game?
I love my Pool C. I'm going Venezuela.
Well, Pool C is not
Venezuela.
No, they're Pool D.
Oh wait, Pool D. My bad. I love the Pool D. I love Pool D.
Got it.
It sounded like I love to Pool D. I don't.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. Okay, and we'll stick here, Isaac. Game 4. The super matchup of the Dominican Republic versus the USA. Who are you taking?
I'm taking DR.
Let's go! Na 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 na. Hey, hey, hey. Goodbye, USA. All right.
Just because of what the Baltimore Ravens are doing to Lamar Jackson, I'm fucking with DR.
There you go. Isaac rocking a Justin Tucker Ravens jersey today, if you are listening on audio.
The greatest kicker of all time.
Greatest kicker of all time, that's a fact.
The only acceptable kicker to put on a jersey.
All right, Isaac. My game 4, quarterfinal game 4. We got Venezuela taking on the USA. Isaac, please start singing.
No! Oh, no! Na 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 na.
Hey, hey, hey! Goodbye, USA! You're getting eliminated by Venezuela.
We both have them knocked out in the quarters.
Okay, this is definitely considered a terrible take that we are both knocking out USA in the quarterfinals. The fact that we're both not taking USA to get through the quarterfinals is going to make us look either like geniuses if somehow it actually happens, or just complete morons.
They're gonna blow
that
it
are
everybody.
Just overly optimistic about these other teams.
Yo, I feel like if anyone is American, listen to this podcast, they are automatically just fucking hate it.
Yeah, they have now exited the podcast. They've unsubscribed. They've left the YouTube video. They're probably writing a hateful comment on YouTube.
Before you leave, we just want more worldwide recognition for baseball. Grow the game.
Hey, and
even though DR is it's the number one sport in DR, and it's not the number one sport in USA.
dude,
So
here's my consideration.
y'all have your basketball, y'all have your football. DR has baseball.
It's true. Here's my consideration too. I genuinely feel like not that the USA players aren't going to be committed and like want to win, but I do feel like just the Latin America countries have so much pride in their country. They want to play. They're like just so competitive. I just feel like I like banking on the Latin America countries in this tournament. So that's why I'm taking Venezuela.
Venezuela needs good things.
Yes.
It's a beautiful country in a horrible situation. Like, they need the people. I don't know if baseball is the thing they need, but every win helps.
Yeah. All right, Isaac, we gotta fire through this. We gotta keep this under an hour and a half, I would say.
Oh shit!
So we are semifinals. Now for your bracket, semifinal number 1, you have Cuba versus Venezuela. Who is advancing to the championship?
Venezuela.
Let's go.
Really is going through to the finals of the WBC. Let's fucking go.
Beautiful. Let's make this flag bigger here too. Okay.
Oh, this one's tough for me. This one's actually tough for me.
I gotta pick.
I'm
gonna pick my semifinal one.
Pick
we got
both of you,
DR
then.
versus Netherlands in my bracket here. I think that the Netherlands run ends there. I just don't think their pitching depth is even close to being able to contain the Dominican Republic's crazy-ass lineup. So I've got Dominican advancing to the championship, beating Netherlands in the finals. All right, let's go back down to yours, Isaac. And you have Japan versus the
tough.
DR. I kind of know which way you're leaning, but maybe you'll surprise me. Who are you taking?
I'm taking our favorite Blue Jay. Dominican Republic is going to the finals. The thing is that Japan could win that game for sure. But I don't know enough about the Japanese-born players that aren't in the MLB.
I started moving the DR flag before you even told me who was going to win. I knew you were taking them.
Yeah.
You got way too much love for the DR to push Japan through.
Honestly, though, like the DR players in this are some of my favorite players in baseball.
Yeah.
Like, I have to.
They're just so fun to watch. It's just the Latin players, man.
Absolutely.
They have more fun. They love the game so deeply, and just the way they play it with like just enthusiasm, and they're the best. Okay.
We can easily say the baseball culture in the DR is much better than North American baseball culture.
I would agree.
Just look at the life. Okay, compare the life from the last 3 years in Toronto versus the life that we're going to have now that we have fucking no mustache guy chilling on the bench.
Yeah. We'll see, though, because some are saying that might help them win a championship, get more focused. But will it be as fun is the question.
Without Teo and Lourdes.
All right. I need to pick between Japan and Venezuela. This one is actually very difficult for me.
He's pro mustache, no beard guy. That's what I'm...
Okay, gotcha.
He's no beard guy.
Isaac is referring to Don
Miami.
Mattingly, in case you didn't understand what he was talking about, who is the bench coach for the Blue Jays. Isaac, you are off your focus here. I have to choose between in semifinal 2, semifinal 2 will be Japan versus Venezuela. And, I mean, with all the Shohei hype and how much Japan cares about this tournament, I'm still taking Venezuela, baby. Let's go.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
DR versus Venezuela in the finals, Isaac.
Bro, we have the same matchup.
Yeah, that's crazy. These should have been two.
Dude, I thought you were going to pick your number one bucket list country.
Yeah, Japan is my number one bucket list country, but in this instance, oh no, I've taken them. Move the flag.
You know what? Venezuela is one of my is like a top 5 bucket list country for me. So I was going with the heart there. You didn't go with the bucket list heart.
Dude, I'm going with who I think has a team that can win. I think that they have like
Japan.
No. Well, yes, of course. Of course Japan could win. But I just think that like I don't know, there's just something about Venezuela that's got my attention this year. And they have 4 good starters, which I think is kind of important because you're not going to be able to just run the same guy out there every time. Like I feel like there's inning limits and stuff like that. You need guys that are going to kind of eat up some innings, I think. And I don't know. Like I think that the pitching depth for Venezuela is gonna help carry them to the finals here. And this is where things get interesting in the championship because now like Venezuela doesn't have that like one starting pitcher that can just like come out like Sandy Alcantara and just completely shut down an offense, you know, especially an offense of that caliber. So I think it's really tricky to choose now. But fuck, man. Why don't you pick? What are your thoughts on this matchup, Venezuela versus Dominican? You have them getting there by different means, but still, in the end, we both have Dominican and Venezuela.
I feel like at this point, I do have to go with more firepower.
Okay.
And I think I'm picking DR here.
All right.
As I'm cheering for Venezuela, I'm not. I got to go with a logical choice at the end of it.
I mean, I would be so happy if either of these won. Like, I mean, Dominican is like kind of a favorite in this, but that's like a favorite. They don't feel like that like super villain favorite that you find.
They're like the number 3, I would say. Like it would be because the fact that they might be number 2.
Dude, I think I don't know if there's like an actual seeding, but I'm pretty sure that like the 2 favorites were USA 1, Japan 2, and then Dominican.
Yeah. DR3.
I think that's the way it was
That's kind of what I figured. But I do think Dominican is probably... that might be North American bias. Saying that DR is better than Japan. Just because we're less familiar.
With the Japan roster,
yeah. I don't know what Venezuela is ranked, to be honest. So...
I'm just going into my Bet365 account here, and I'm going to look at the odds again for the World Baseball Classic.
Who do you have here? Do you have DR as well? Is that who you picked?
I have not made that decision yet. Just kidding. I knew who I was picking before we went through Isaac, I have money on Venezuela to win this tournament. The odds have been updated now. I got them at plus 3,500. Venezuela's odds are now up to plus 1,000. So if we want to go betting odds in terms of like the seeding here, it goes this way. Dominican, Japan, USA, Puerto Rico, Venezuela, Korea, Cuba, Mexico, Chinese Taipei or Taiwan, Netherlands, Canada, Israel. I took my plus 3,500 and I determined that Venezuela is going to be your 2023 World Baseball Classic champions. Thank you.
Fuck yes. I'm cheering for your bracket now at the end.
I still think that your
finals,
quarterfinal matchups that you put in here are like elite for the quarterfinal 2 matchups. Those are sick. I hope that happens. And the World Baseball Classic kicks off on Wednesday, March 8th. You got games between Panama and Taiwan, Australia, and... Oh, wait, sorry. It actually starts March 7th. And you got Cuba playing the Netherlands. That's a cool game. That'll be fun to watch. That's at 11 p.m. Because of the location being in Taiwan. And then you got Panama, Panama, Taiwan, Australia, Korea. Basically, it runs from March 7th to the 22nd. So tune in. I think a big game that people are probably going to be interested in, obviously based on our listenership, I'm sure people are interested to know when Canada plays first. So I'll try to find that first Canada game.
I must say, if there's multiple games going on at the exact same time, I will be tuning into the other games because Canada does not excite me.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with that. I don't think Canada plays until... Canada's first game is against Great Britain at 3 o'clock.
Oh my god, fuck that.
Yeah, that's a trash... That should be a win for Canada, though, if you want to see that.
I mean, yeah, Canada should get a win.
That's like the one kind of, I would say, all but guaranteed win that Canada has in that bracket. So, I mean, if you want to tune in.
Like, I must say, Britain has one of the most boring forms of football as it is out of all the countries. And to me, it's just like, I don't know. Like, they don't excite me.
Yeah.
Sorry if you're British. I'm exiling a lot of listeners, but I don't think any British people actually watch baseball. So
yeah. So I would say if you're interested in watching the World Baseball Classic, the games to watch, the first one on March 7th with Cuba and who was the other team that they were playing, Isaac? Cuba and Panama, was it? No, Cuba and Netherlands, sorry. That's a good matchup. I'm definitely going to try to tune into that one, even though it's at 11 p.m. I might have to try and watch it the next day or something. I don't know. That's a little bit late. But then March 8th, you have other good matchups. You've got Panama and Netherlands. But things really start cooking, I would say, by the time you get to Friday, March 10th. You got Korea versus Japan. That's obviously a big game. That's at 5 a.m. USA, people are probably wondering about. USA's first game is March 11th, and they play Great Britain as well. They're starting Canada and USA out with easy dubs. You also have Colombia and Mexico on March 11th. Yeah, when does DR play first?
I want to know when Venezuela plays too. DR and Venezuela.
Venezuela's first game looks like it's against Puerto Rico, March 12th. So March 11th and March 12th are when things really start heating up in this tournament. You start getting some elite matchups.
That first game in Pool D could actually ruin our bracket.
Yeah. It's going to be make or break. You also have at 10 p.m. you got USA versus Mexico on March 12th. That's definitely a cool one to watch.
Okay. That's a good one.
There's a lot of good games on March 12th. But
I must say the most boring division as a whole, like even Colombia to me is like, okay, out of the Latin teams, I'm not really thrilled to see, like not super excited and engaged in that team, that roster. But Pool C is probably the most boring division. I think Pool B is cool because I just want to see Czech Republic.
Yeah.
And then Japan and Korea.
I will share on our Instagram story, for those of you interested, I will share the link to the World Baseball Classic schedule. If you want to, you can go to, like, find everything, basically, by going MLB.com/World Baseball Classic. That'll get you kind of everything you need. Even if you just go to the website, right now, like the MLB website, they've made it pretty dominant in terms of like presenting the WBC. So be sure to check that out. I hope you enjoyed this episode. We had a lot of fun talking about it. This is probably going to be one of the longest episodes that we drop as a one-piece thing. We had a lot to go through. And Isaac, I had a good time doing it. Thank you for joining me. And, oh shit, the wrap-up music. I gotta play that. Here we go.
Play it.
We're wrapping up. That's the end of the show. Thank you for joining us.
Why can't I hear the fucking music?
Why can't you hear it? Oh no! It's not set to live. Now can you hear it?
I can hear it now, so basically we're not going to hear the
We're not going to hear the intro.
So that's just going to be us saying, I can't hear it.
Yeah. No, we'll just skip it. I'll cut it from the episode. So if you stuck around this long, thank you for listening. And I'm sorry that you didn't get your intro music. You've got it now. Shout out Kevin Coates, our uncle, for making us the intro and outro. Follow us on Instagram at Diamond Jam Podcast. Goodbye.
Unshaped by Sports.
Yes.